The following is a presentation of The Day.
The Ledyard Colonels boys basketball team is full of familiar faces, some in new places. Head coach DJ Exum, in his first year as head coach after years in New London, is challenged with creating a contender. Senior Darrell Cagle provides stability as Exum welcomes in a host of new faces looking to make an impact. Waterford is still the defending state champs, winning in 2018 and 2019. And Coach Bill Bassett needs seniors like Nolan Goldschneider, Jordan Elsey, and Sean O'Connell to tap into their past to guide the present-day Lancers towards a successful season. And they are 4-0 at the Sun. It's the champs versus the contenders, the Lancers and the Colonels, the Day Holiday Classic, live at Mohegan Sun on Game Day and theday.com. As the hardwood echoes the sounds of high school basketball's return to the Mohegan Sun, so live is the first ever Day Holiday Classic, and it's all live on Game Day. Casey O'Neill along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien, and what a way to tip things off. A team that last was here winning a state championship, and a team that was the last game of high school played here in an ECC final, Waterford and Ledyard.
Yeah, big-time matchup here, Casey. Early in the season in the ECC, again, I don't think Waterford's ever lost at the Mohegan Sun, and Ledyard, no stranger to the venue, losing to NFA a couple years ago in a hard-fought battle. But, you know, since then, a new coach in the mix here at Ledyard High School.
Well, you're right. Waterford 4-0 in their time here at the Sun. They have not lost, but DJ Exum comes in a wealth of experience on the bench at New London for a number of years. And I like your term for this Ledyard team. He inherits sort of a bunch of new bodies and new faces. And what'd you call it?
I call it a mystery package, if you could say that. So, again, you know, you've got a returning guy in Cagle and a bunch of different new pieces in place and a new head coach and Game 3 into this season, and you know what better way to try to figure out where you stand in the league and how your growth as a team than to hear it against the Mohegan Sun, against a team who brings a pretty good pedigree in through the front door.
Yeah, Waterford is still the two-time defending state champions. They had 2018 and 19 the last two. Ledyard, of course, trying to figure out how what are they going to be? What's their identity? And, of course, they'll bring in some new faces, and he'll be challenged. Coach Exum will be to figure out who's who.
Right, and I'm sure Bill Bassett doesn't want his kids to hear that we're defending state champions. This is a new group of kids. This is a new challenge for us. Again, you know, we talked about them a little bit in the offseason, Casey, during the Summer League. We're going to be pretty good. You know, a lot of eyes were on them and saw some different pieces of the puzzle. It's not a one-man show anymore. It's a program. You know, Bill Bassett's been here before. So, again, another team, though, what are they going to grow like? What are they going to maturate into, you know, week 4, week 5 into the season?
Well, if you want growth and maturation, come back again, 8 o'clock tonight, Game 2 of the Tip-Off Classic. The number 1 team in the state of Connecticut, that's a Bristol Central, led by the premier player in the state of Connecticut, Donovan Klingen, who's heading to UConn.
Sure.
I describe him as 7 feet of basketball misery for his opponents.
Yeah.
But he's playing the number 3 team in the state, East Catholic.
Yep.
And they have been the best team in Connecticut over the past 5 years. That should be an epic game tonight. That's at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, you got a team that graduated 4 starters in East Catholic and a team that brings back 4 starters from last year's team in Bristol Central. And I had a chance to get a look at Donovan Klingen on Saturday in the hardwood up at UConn, you know, waving to the fans and stuff like that. He's a big kid. And there's a buzz not only here in southeastern Connecticut, but all around the state.
So we're looking forward to it. 6 o'clock Game 1, 8 o'clock Game 2. Lots to bring to you tonight in the first ever Day Holiday tip-off here with the Holiday Classic. Let's talk a little bit about your early impressions of the ECC. Let me start with the 2-0 East Lyme Vikings.
Sure.
Clearly, the residual effect of your leadership in the Summer League propelling them to 2-0.
Hey, not bad. Not bad for a guy behind the mic, but the kids really enjoyed it. And you know what? Jeff's got a hard-working group of kids. And I texted him after that win against New London, and he said, Keith, it's nothing fancy. You know what you're going to get out of it. It's lunch pail effort, hard work, determination, hitting the boards and hustling. So, Ledyard right now, 2-0. They pressed and trapped at Old Lyme and got a win. that team, along with NFA, with a big win over Fitch on Saturday night, Casey, and sprinkle in St. Bernard's along the way. So, we kind of have an idea. Maybe Stonington as well in the mix too. We kind of have an idea on who's going to be good, but who rises to the top maybe come mid-January.
Well, I'm going to give an early plug just because I have to for 2-0 Bacon Academy with a big win over Woodstock. But that's sort of what this year we saw in football as well.
Right.
For these kids, they had a season last year, but it wasn't the same thing. There's a lot of new kids playing basketball for the first time, teams getting back into it. And so, you're going to be seeing kids who haven't really played basketball much freshman and sophomore year. So who emerges? And you name some teams, and, there's going to be emerging teams at the top, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of teams competing in the middle.
Right, and not to mention, some of the changes in coaching. Dave Cornish is not with Ledyard anymore. He's over at NFA. And, obviously, DJ Exum here, but a lot of the kids have transferred a little bit too. So it's, again, I think a lot of it's a mystery. Obviously St. Bernard's, East Lyme bringing back what they're bringing back. Fitch going to be very good. Stumbled against NFA, but it'll be curious to see. Once we get through the holiday season, once teams start playing regularly, who does emerge?
Yeah, I think St. Bernard's we knew was going to be good, but what we didn't know was that it wasn't going to be Tyson Wheeler and Cedric Similian. It was going to be the freshman coming in. Nick Gray's son is, I go back. I taught Nick Gray, so I'm like, feeling my age here. But we knew they were going to be good, but how good can they be? You mentioned some of the teams. You listen to Dave Cornish talk about his team at NFA. He's excited about that group. He loves that everybody kind of slept on them a little bit. He's like, what?
That's a big win against Fitch.
Yeah,
too.
he's like, leave us out of it because we're going to be there at the end. And I think he's excited about that team.
Yeah, and we had a chance to see Stonington and Griswold in the summer league too. They're in the ECC as well. Stonington could be a player down the road here too. So a lot of good basketball, a lot of excitement, and it starts right here tonight.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Yeah.
ECC final.
Sure. East Lyme. I can't go against Jeff.
All right.
And I will say Fitch.
All right.
I'll say East Lyme and Fitch.
All right.
That's in the Division I final.
All right. I won't make you pick the Division II final.
No. It's all right.
No love for New London and Chop Park. Maybe the best player in the ECC though, Rodea Perry, Pedro Perry.
31 against East Lyme, and Jeff said he was an impossible kid to cover. Impossible. Made a lot of tough shots.
So we'll have to see. It's going to be wide open in the ECC. Of course, throughout the year, we're going to want to hear from all of you who you love in the ECC. But we're ready tonight for Waterford and Ledyard. Let's go over to Bill Glennie.
Welcome to Mohegan Sun Arena for the 2021 Holiday Classic, sponsored by The Day. Game 1 tonight features the Waterford Lancers and the Ledyard Colonels. Holiday Classic shirts are available on the course, and we'd like to thank our sponsors, Waterford Dental Health, Orthopedic Partners, Scion Federal Credit Union, and Connecticut Capitals Baseball Academy. We'd like to remind fans the ECC, along with the CIAC, has made a commitment to promote sportsmanship in all athletic contests. Please show respect for all players, coaches, game officials, and spectators. Anyone violating our standards of sportsmanship will be warned once, and continued violations may lead to a removal from the contest. Please cheer for your team and not against your opponent. Your officials tonight, Sergio Lewis, Anthony Malhot, and Roger Warner. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet your lineups. The Lancers enters tonight's game with a record of 1-1 and are coached by Bill Bassett. Wearing blue jerseys, red numbers, and white trim. Put your hands together, Lancer Nation, as we introduce the starting five. Starting at guard, a 6'3" junior, number 3, Logan Peabody. Starting at guard, a 6' senior, number 10, Nolan Goldschneider. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 11, Jordan Elsey. At forward, a 6'4" senior, number 30, Sean O'Connor. O'Connell. And starting at center, a 6'8" sophomore, number 35, Juan Morel Jr. The Colonels enters tonight's game with a record of 1-1 and are led by DJ Exum. Sporting the white uniforms with gold blue trim. Make some noise, Colonel Crew, for your starting lineup. Starting at guard, a 5'11" senior number 2, Caden Whipple. Starting at guard, a 5'11" sophomore number 12, Jonah Eddy. Starting at forward, a 6'3" junior, number 15, Ryan Outlaw. Starting at center, a 6'6" senior, number 33, Connor Keefe. And starting at forward, a 6'2" senior, number 35, Darrell Cagle. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's anthem is being performed by the Ledyard High School Chamber Choir under the direction of Melanie Cometa. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we'd like to direct your attention to the big board to meet all the players in tonight's game.
Aiden Bousquet, Oswegatchie Elementary.
Logan Peabody, Oswegatchie School.
Patrick Bars, Quaker Hill Elementary.
Derek Rivera, Winthrop Elementary.
Nolan Golshner, Quaker Hill Elementary.
Jordan Elsey, Great Neck Elementary.
Evan McHugh, Great Neck Elementary.
Evan Pietrowski, Quaker Hill Elementary School.
Nate Hines, Oswegatchie Elementary.
AJ Dollinger, Stanton Elementary.
Anthony Jessic, Great Neck Elementary.
Sean O'Connell, Quaker Hill Elementary.
CJ Landry, the Great Neck Elementary School.
Juan Morel, Winthrop Elementary School.
Saul Lascona, Jennings Elementary School.
Albert Frank, Moriarty Elementary School.
James Green, Galesfield Elementary School.
Caden Whipple, Ledyard Center.
Peyton Luther, Ledyard Center School.
Liam Sawboy, Sterling Community School.
Tucker Carly, Julia Long.
Ethan Petrowski, JWL.
Jonah Eddy, Moriarty Magnet Elementary School.
Ryan Outlaw, Huntington Elementary.
Roman Streckfus, and I was homeschooled in elementary.
Chris Clouston, Gallup Hill Elementary School.
Justin Allo, Huntington Elementary.
Chris Washington, Ledyard Center School.
Connor Keefe, Gallup Hill Elementary.
Ben Rothchuk, JWL.
Darrell Cagle, Huntington Elementary.
All right, we are ready for tip-off. Connor Keefe, the 6'6 senior for Ledyard, and Juan Morel, the 6'8 sophomore, ready to jump it up, and we are ready to go here at the Sun.
Officials for tonight's game, Roger Warner, Sergio Lewis, and Anthony Malhoy, all-star crew.
And the tip is won by the Lancers, and they will have the first possession, and we're going to have a re-jump, I believe, because they double-tapped. And I want to immediately thank Nolan Goldschneider of the Waterford Lancers for wearing the brightest sneakers I have ever seen before. They can be seen from space, and I will be using those as identification throughout the entire evening. Lancers win the tip. Swing around the perimeter. Morel at the high post, and they're going to move the ball. Whipple gets the early assignment on Elsie. Goldschneider drives to the basket, a little hard off the backboard, and it's going to be out of bounds off of O'Connell, and it will go over to the Colonels.
Maybe some nerves here in the early going for both these teams. The big stage.
Sure.
Shot, just the shot depth. You're in a wide open arena now, and big boy basketball.
Absolutely. Cagle, quick trigger three, short. Tipped around, and Outlaw gets it back to Cagle, who drives and turns it over. Up ahead of the pack is Goldschneider. Outlaw races back with him, and Goldschneider finishes at the basket for the first bucket of the game.
Straight man-to-man defense by Waterford, Casey. Signature for Bill Bassett. Trap and press a little bit, come out starting the man.
Outlaw pulls up for three, that's gonna be long. Keefe underneath, he's blocked by Morel, gets his own rebound. And a finish in the basket's going to be good for Jonah Eddy, and he'll go to the line to shoot the bonus. Few football players on the floor right now for Ledyard, and Eddy showing that toughness we saw all year long.
Replay, the hoop and the harm off the missed second chance points right there for Ledyard. So, you've got a team creating offense and a run out with Waterford, and then you got another team creating some offense and a second chance scoring opportunity.
Basket and the extra, and Ledyard a little lead. We're going to have a pressure. And Outlaw creates the turnover coming up from behind on Goldschneider, and Cagle quickly, Whipple for three, short. And Morel will come up with a rebound, and he immediately turns it over back to Whipple. Cagle pulls up, he's short, but look at Eddy in the paint, and it's blocked by Morel.
Tough for a coach to tell his kids to settle down and relax a little bit. They want to get out of the gate, and they want to start running, start hitting some shots. That's why you see the sloppy play here early. I think maybe both teams pressing a little too much, trying to force the issue.
Waterford's got some size, but I think Ledyard really needs to start to look at inside, and Outlaw drills it from the foul line. But I think, Ledyard's bread and butter is going to be getting the ball down around the basket and trying to make Morel, who's he's still only a sophomore.
Right.
Make him use his defensive skills. And they got to pressure him when he gets the ball.
Yeah, he's a sophomore.
Outlaw push. That's back-to-back baskets by Outlaw.
That's the tough two, right? The 12-footer and the 8-footer from the elbow extended. Defense sagged down. I'm going to take what they're going to give me. Knocks them both down. 7-2 Ledyard early.
O'Connell and Elsie, neither has really had a shot yet. And there's a steal by Whipple. Peabody does a nice job cutting him off. Straightaway three by Outlaw is off the side of the rim, and there's Eddy again. Eddy really has a nose for the basketball.
Yeah, Eddy's doing work on the offensive end. Quick time out of mask break there. The one thing I've noticed about Outlaw, too, in those first couple of shots, he kind of smooth, in rhythm. He's got a 10-footer. He he takes it. Maybe the defense comes out on him next time and he goes to the rim. So I think setting the tone early, knocking down a couple of jump shots will only help his game out a little bit.
Yeah, that's a great point, Sports Doctor, because, we know he can score around the basket. We know he can bully people down there. But if he can extend out 15 feet, he becomes a much more dynamic player.
And you got to go out and guard him, and you know he can get to the rim. He's got that ability.
Cagle with his big body handles the basketball like a much smaller person, splits the defense, floater in the lane, no good. Rebound on the floor, and out of the pack comes Elsey with O'Connell. O'Connell has Eddie, and a nice job by Eddie to disrupt that. Goldschneider pulls up for three. Got it! Nolan Goldschneider knocks down the triple to get the Lancers a little closer. O'Connell reaches in for the steal. Baby Oak throws it down to tie the game at 7.
Three-pointer, turnover, the run out by Oak. Send it in just like that, a 2-point game. You see the ball pressure by Waterford pick it up a little bit on the defensive end. Challenging. Whipple coming out and jumping in the passing lanes as well.
5-0 run has us tied at 7. Cagle blocked from behind by O'Connell, and that'll cause a jump ball. That was a nice call there. Jump ball arrow favors Ledyard. We'll get our first subs into the ball game. Peyton Luther, who we saw star on the soccer field this year, he'll be in the game replacing Whipple, and Elsey will take a seat, and we'll get a quick sub on the other side for Waterford. Another turnover. Nice pass from O'Connell, but Goldschneider lobs it up and he can't find Morrell. Cagle comes out the other side.
Short. That's a settled shot for Cagle there.
That's another rebound, though, for Eddie. All by out-hustling people to the basketball.
Yeah, that's Cagle. I like to see him get him going into flow and the rhythm of the offense. He can have that 35-footer anytime he wants.
We're going to get a whistle, foul underneath. See who they call that foul on. I think they're going to get Morrell with a hold on Cagle underneath.
It's going to be on 30. It's going to be O'Connell. Go check that, Pietrowski.
Pietrowski, who's just in the ball game.
Yeah, it's funny. It's O'Connell dunked on that last leak out. Both his brothers are here, and they both dunked on this court as well. So
that's right. So Ryan and Sean O'Connell both dunked here.
3 for 3.
Long three by Luther, no good. Rebound O'Connell. A little sloppy. Up ahead it goes to Luther. He drives, reverse layup, and he'll be fouled by Morrell. That's a good aggressive play by Peyton Luther going to the basket. We see now Stahlbusch in the game, another football player. Right? So, and the soccer player. Ledyard has all fall sports guys.
Yeah.
And they had, that's, I think, winning in the fall really does lead to some good things in the winter.
Yeah, and just the turnover in this program, from last year or 2 years ago, new coach, some new players, some new faces. Obviously the message is still the same. They're going to play hard defense and go out and get it. And, a big key to their success is Cagle because of his growth, too, in the offseason, too.
Both knocked down by Luther. Evan McHugh into the ball game for Waterford. So Waterford goes a little bigger now. A little Euro step by O'Connell for the basket. Looked like he took 6 steps.
Yeah, I don't.
Euro step.
Okay.
How do you get from Germany to Italy?
Yeah, you walk. You take 3 steps. I call it travel back in my day.
Back in the day, you used to travel. That's right. Cagle, nice move in the lane.
God, don't we like that out of Cagle more? Get into the paint, square himself off, hit the 6-footer. He can have that 35-footer on the perimeter anytime he wants. Get that big body, get to work. Score the basketball, son.
Game is settled in, 11-9. O'Connell Challenged by Cagle, gives it back up. And was that tip? No, it was not. It'll be a turnover and Ledyard basketball. The early dunk by O'Connell assures that Peter Wappy will have a highlight that he can put together later.
Yeah.
Last time we did a basketball game was a college basketball game. We weren't sure if there was a highlight. Drops down, out low, spins, harassed, and we're going to get a tie-up. Nice job, O'Connell ties up Outlaw, and Outlaw wants to grab, which I think he's entitled to. I think he got grabbed.
Yeah, he got grabbed. Yep, he's got to recognize that double team coming down on him, and and get rid of the ball, find a shooter on the perimeter. He's going to draw a lot of attention when he gets to rock too. Him and Cagle, double teams come.
Nice job by Cagle, shutting off O'Connell. Goldschneider launches a three. Front end, no good, and a rebound by Rushcheck. We're going to get a travel, heading to the basket, and another turnover for the Colonels. Trying to do a little too much with Stahlbusch. And we're going to get our guy, James Green, the playmaker, into the game for the Colonels. James Green, who's listed as 5'8", and was
plays like 6'7", doesn't he? He's up trying to dunk the ball.
Yeah, he's up at the rim.
Spud web action.
Oh, that kid has every athletic tool you'd want, and he's a great kid.
Yes, great kid.
Goldschneider heads, bounce pass, misses McHugh, and there's Green. He was an all-state defensive back, and there it is.
Yep. Green coming on the weak side, help.
Showing his ball hawking skills. Congratulations on the all-state nod for James Green. Dump down to Rushcheck, back to Outlaw for three. It's going to be short. But there's Green, athletic, but can't get to the basketball in time. Good hustle by James Green, but he couldn't get there.
Good inside-out play that time for Ledyard. Rushcheck has got to show more of a threat that he's going to turn and score.
Check that. Connor Keefe is actually wearing 33.
Okay.
So Connor Keefe is starting. Rushcheck, I should know that because Rushcheck's built like like the lineman that he is. Down under 10 seconds. Waterford looking for the last shot. O'Connell pulls up for three. Good. Sean O'Connell gives Waterford the lead. Last shot for Ledyard. Luther at the buzzer. No good. 12-11 Waterford at the end of one. Come on back for second quarter action. You're watching Game Day live on day.com.
At Orthopedic Partners, exceptional care and treatment is our top priority. We provide high-quality, state-of-the-art services and treatments for the comfort and satisfaction of our patients. If you have questions or would like to schedule an appointment, contact us today at 860-889-7345 or at orthopartners.com. All that's good begins with a smile, and your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing the personalized, gentle care you deserve. Commitment to our patients includes information that leads to more informed decisions about their oral health needs. We hope you'll find this website both useful and interesting. Contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com. Pave the way for your students' financial success with a MySci account from Scient. Open a high-yield MySci savings account today and help support a positive financial future for your student. Visit scientfcu.org to learn more.
(12-11) Waterford here. Let's see how the first quarter ended.
O'Connell showed you the goods on the dunk, and then he steps back and drills the three. Sean O'Connell doing a little bit of everything right now for the Waterford Lancers, Casey. And the one thing that kind of jumps out a little bit, we talked about Eddie having a nose for the ball and stuff like that. Ledyard leading the rebounds 9-5 over Waterford. A lot of second chance scoring opportunities, but again, a little bit of a slow start to the game. Both teams feeling each other out. Outlaw hit a couple, O'Connell hit a couple, so now moving forward, I think you see a crisper brand of basketball.
Well, I think one of the things you notice with Waterford, with their biggest player, Morrell, is thin and lean. They're better off. I think they like to be long with O'Connell, McHugh, Elsey. guys that are long.
And they want to go.
And right.
Yeah, they want to go.
So I think Morrell slows them up a little bit. He's more of a half-court guy, so I think they might want to move the basketball a little bit and get up and down the floor. And they might need a little size because Outlaw and Cagle are both very sturdy. So is Connor Keefe. Dump down. Cagle spins, hangs, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Well, there you go. You're coming off the timeout break. In between quarters, we're going to get our guy down on the block. We're going to give him the basketball. We're going to let him go to work. And again, you can have that outside shot all you want, but where Cagle is very, very dangerous. He's got that big body. He can score on the block. He can score in the paint. Let's get him some touches where he can make plays.
Well, for years we've said about Darrell Cagle that he's got a power forward's body and a guard's
shooting guard mentality, yes.
And I think though in college, if when he wants to play college basketball, he's going to need that outside shot. I think every time you can get him to shoot from outside of 15 feet, you should thank him and shake his hand.
Yeah.
Because once he gets down on the block, who can really defend that size?
That's tough. You've got a couple of long bodies from Waterford, but Cagle's strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's got to play near the basket. I think he's got to play near the basket every chance. O'Connell drives on Cagle, hangs no good, and we're going to get a foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, it's on Cagle. That's a late whistle by Roger Warner, too.
But it was the right whistle, I think. He definitely got a slap there as he hung in the air. When you talked about earlier and we talked about how Pedro Perry at New London might be, one of the most difficult kids to guard in the league.
Almost impossible.
I don't know that Darrell Cagle is guardable for, if you guard him with a big guy, he takes him off the dribble.
Sure.
If you guard him with a guard, you just put him in the post. He needs to live with those mismatches.
Yes, he does. Yeah, get him down on the block. Let him do work down there. He's tough. He's a tough kid to move out of that spot too. Once he gets down there 4 or 5 feet from the basket, he's tough. But Perry had 31 the other night against East Lyme. He's good.
Yeah. Plays with a chip on his shoulder. Plays tough. Plays physical. We just saw Cagle miss the 3, and that's what I'm talking about. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that
it's a quick shot.
I want him down on the block.
He likes it though. It's tough for him to pass up.
It is.
We all like the 3-point shot.
You're a chucker. I like it down on the block. I'd rather live on the block. You like to live out. See?
Yeah, I just want to.
Big guys want to shoot threes. Little guys want to rebound.
Good defense by Ledyard.
Goldschneider for 3, short.
Good defensive set by Ledyard. Good ball pressure. Challenging the passing lanes. Recognize the shooter on the perimeter.
Outlow spins. Great defense by O'Connell. Tie up. Possession arrow favors Waterford.
And that's 4 guys standing on the perimeter, and Outlaw trying to force something. Now Whipple's got to come get that basketball, settle things down a little bit, and get the ball moving. The pounding of the basketball, that one-man show, no good. Easy to defend.
And as much as the last name is there, he doesn't have his brother's skill set, his oldest brother. Marcus lived out on the perimeter. Justin needs to live down. Ryan, rather, needs to live down inside. 2 different body types, too.
Green almost got that quick into the passing lane.
Instead, a triple from Peabody. Nice straight up, took it in, stepped in, knocked it down.
Waterford extended the lead to 4.
Biggest lead of the game.
I think it was slowed down a bit on the offensive end for Ledyard. They got Cagle in the box to come out to start the second quarter, but these last few trips down, and again, I think you got to credit that Waterford defense too. They're long, they're going out and they're challenging everything.
Nice kick out for Green. 3-pointer no good by Luther. And Ledyard's got to figure out who their shooters are because that's there, but who's going to be the one shooting it? McHugh loses it, nice hands. Cagle going to push out the other way. There's tough matchup. Cagle on Elsey. Hangs, good defense by Elsey. Cagle missed the layup.
I like that take, though. I like that push. A hard charge down the middle.
Oh, that's a great look from Elsey. Hanging underneath is Peabody. Can't finish, but he'll shoot 2. So Peabody will go to the line. Shoot a couple. Fouls on Green, his first. Ledyard looking to get Eddie back in the ball game. I know he's one of the guys that they think of as a shooter, so they're going to want to give him maybe some of those chances. Stahlbush is going to come back in the game as well. And Green will go out. Cagle will get his first break. And then Morell's back into the ball game for Waterford. And he'll give O'Connell his first breather.
Yeah, that's one of those things you've seen from Waterford basketball throughout the years is they have shooters on the perimeter. And that's what makes them dangerous. I mean, for the last 5 or 6 years, you sprinkle Bissetto or JJ on a wing or something like that. They've had kids that knock down some big-time shots. Waterford does not struggle for that in the offensive set, where Ledyard struggles to find a shooter to knock down a three.
Yeah.
The driving kick is going to be there for the Lancers. Where does that, like you said, where does that driving kick come if you're the Colonels?
Be interesting without Cagle in the ball game here to see what Ledyard does offensively. How are they going to run the offense? Because Cagle has the ball in his hands a lot. Let's see what they run. Keith drives baseline, kicks back out Stahlbush. Eddie wanted the three, instead dribbles it off his foot and turnover. Good defense for Waterford with a 5-point lead.
So when you're in a situation like that, maybe it's time to get Outlaw down on the block a little bit and just let him go to work. Your best player's getting a little bit of a breather over there.
Little zone action from Ledyard. Nice look underneath, and Morell finishes at the basket. Peabody with a beautiful look, and Morell gets the two, and we're going to get a timeout. DJ Exum is not happy with the Colonels as they're down 7.
Too easy at the rim that time from Morell. Again, the good look by Peabody, Casey, the zip pass, catch it shot high, shoot it high, didn't put the ball on the floor, right to the rim for 2. And baskets right now are coming a little bit easier for Waterford, and shots coming a little bit easier for Waterford than they are for Ledyard. I could use some of that popcorn right now too, but you watching on the offensive end, a natural flow, a natural rhythm. We're going to knock down a few threes, and then find the guy at the rim diving in. So
future Lancers happy to be here. We saw Lancer Nation as well. Talk a little bit about what you're seeing out of Waterford. I think we've documented Ledyard struggles. What do you like that you're seeing from Waterford?
Well, they're spreading the floor pretty good right now, too. They're finding shooters, finding some mismatches, and they're not settling. The game is starting to flow for them on the offensive end. Settled down with the turnovers, found their guys that can shoot some threes, then you find the big guy in the slip to the rim right there in the zip pass. The recognition. This is stuff that we've seen from Bill Bassett's team over the last 4 or 5 years. It's still the same system. It's just different players. So I think the system works once the players get it. And, so saw some sloppy play from them. They turned the ball over a little bit. 8-2. Waterford has outscored Ledyard this quarter. Only a couple of free throws by Cagle. The only 2 points for Ledyard. And again, Cagle's still on the bench. I think he's getting a little attention over there from the trainer, too. Yeah, speaking of your guy, there he is.
Pedro Perry just gave us a little love here on the table, and that's a tough loss they had to your East Lyme kids, but I think there's gonna be a lot of competitive basketball games this year in the conference.
I do.
All right, coming out of a timeout, Ledyard needs a good set here. Now let's see what they do. Outlaw with the basketball, pump fake. He wanted that 15-footer, which he's nailed a couple times. Long three for Whipple, short and underneath. Nice left-handed follow. Connor Keefe with the 2 for the Colonels, and that's a much-needed basket for Ledyard.
Yep, good work, good second chance scoring opportunity. I like the 3-point shot by Whipple, too. He just didn't get it to go, but if he's got to pull a trigger on it, he's got to at least show the threat of it.
Around the perimeter with this Ledyard zone. Elsie, beautiful look to Morell at the basket for the finish. Great ball movement by Waterford and a great pass from Elsie.
And the big man's active, is he not? Good hands. That's an easy scoring opportunity when you catch it a 1.5 feet in the basket.
Waterford playing great defense. Oh, nice pump fake. Eddie, little half floater, half hook, but it was just off to the right.
And again, Waterford patient. You notice that they're patient in the half-court set.
Using the perimeter well. McHugh for 3. Good!
Great ball movement. McHugh in the corner. Squares it up. Buries the triple. Right now, the Lancers extend the lead to 10.
That 3 was right on McHugh. Big basket there, extending the lead to 10.
Right on the cue from McHugh. There you go.
I like Keith demanding the basketball, though. I like that. You got to get some things going. Outlaw dribble, and we're going to get a kick by Waterford. And I think that's a break for
That's
Ledyard.
a break for Ledyard, yeah. See, what you're seeing, too, is on both ends of the floor, you're seeing Waterford on one end pass the ball around to create open opportunities. And you're seeing too much dribbling by Ledyard. You know, an Outlaw trying to take it in himself. And there's no spacing right now for Ledyard. They're easy to defend because they're not passing the basketball.
Yeah, 13-2 run for Waterford. You're exactly right, because of good ball movement on one end.
Yeah,
that's a good look.
Pass.
That's a good look, but Outlaw had it blocked by Elsie from behind. Morrell stood straight up with him. And we're going to get these two on the floor, and tie-up. Possession arrow will favor Ledyard. That was a good job defensively. Morrell stood his ground, straight up, and Elsie came from behind with the backdoor block.
And get a foul. It's a foul on Goldschneider.
O'Connell back into the ball game for Waterford. And he'll give McHugh a break. Good minutes from the senior Evan McHugh.
Buried a 3-ball from the corner, played good defense.
You know, and we should know better than to ever really sleep on Waterford, because they're so well coached, and it's a program. They expect to win. Cagle for 3, short, and good rebound underneath by Keefe. Finds a cutting Cagle, fall away over the top of Morrell, and he buries it.
Now that's the effort you want to see from Cagle. He misses the 3-pointer, he gets himself back into the paint and scores and delivers. He's not hanging on the outside. He's not watching the rebound. He's going to get back in the mix. That was a good look on the 3, too. Just a little bit off the mark.
Good defense. Cagle hounding. Now Goldschneider.
Tough place to pick up the dribble.
And that's going to create a turnover. Cagle coming the other way. Goldschneider tries to get back, and Cagle will draw the block. It's a nice move and back-to-back effort plays from Darrell Cagle.
Not a lot of opportunity run for both teams, Casey, but that time Cagle got the ball and ahead of steam. He was not giving a rock up there. He's going to take it in himself.
He'll go to the line to shoot 2 with 2 minutes remaining here in the first half, and Waterford on top by 8. Big chance for Cagle to cut into that lead. And the first one rolls all the way around, but drops, and McHugh will come right back into the ball game. Goldschneider will take a seat. And no good on the second. Rebound O'Connell.
Important 2 minutes. This lead could be 10 or it could be 5 heading into the locker room. Important 2-minute juncture of the game.
Yeah, Ledyard's got to extend the defense. Make Waterford make the passes that they so far have made. McHugh, quick trigger 3. Got it! Boy, Evan McHugh for 3.
Yeah, that is a catch and shoot and rhythm green light special. Senior rising up, not afraid to take the big shot.
There's that 10-point lead. Keefe for 3, no good. And great rebound, O'Connell underneath. Outworked Outlaw for it. Nice defense, and Whipple saves it, but right to O'Connell. Going to be under a minute here with Waterford out in a 10-point lead. Nice hands. Stahlbush up ahead to Whipple. And the layup is good, cuts the lead to 8.
Yeah, and Ledyard needed that. He needed an easy scoring opportunity, and you see a little bit of pressure right here, a little man pressure.
.35 seconds, extended pressure here for Ledyard, and tiptoeing on the line, and we're going to get a timeout from Coach Bill Bassett.
Yep.
31 seconds remaining in the half. They've got an 8-point lead, but Ledyard turning up the pressure.
Yeah, I think he wants to sit on it for the last shot, too. I think he wants to go into the locker room either up 10 or 11 or up 8.
So right now, you know, you talked about going into halftime. You know, Waterford's going to, with 30 seconds left, I don't think Bill Bassett's going to look for more. I think he's going
to he's going to milk this thing out for the last shot.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to give up an 8-point lead, and he says, We go in by 10, go in by 11, we're up by 8, we're good. We don't want to give them another chance to cut into this lead a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
And Waterford has that kind of, they pass the basketball very well. They spread the floor. That time you saw him a little bit jammed up there. He calls timeout. But the ball movement, in my opinion, has what extended this Waterford lead. It's led to three-point looks. It's led to makeable shots. It's led to a little bit of everything out there. So, ball movement was the key to building this lead. Oak with 9 points, 4 rebounds. Cagle with 7 points for Ledyard, scoring leaders thus far. Great stats tonight.
Luther in the game, he's on Elsie. Elsie beats him off the dribble. Back to O'Connell. Cagle on him. And we're gonna get a tap foul out on the perimeter with 20 seconds remaining. Waterford will inbound it underneath. Up top now, McHugh. Elsie swings. Quick trigger three from Peabody, short. Stallbush comes out of the pack. Nice bounce pass to Luther. Left hand, no good. There's Cagle underneath with a follow, no good. And McHugh out of the pack. And that'll get us to halftime. An 8-point Waterford lead. The sports doctor's going to want to talk with Waterford coach Bill Bassett about what he liked in the first half, as his Lancers, who love it here at the Sun, are up 8. Sports doctor.
Okay, Bill, was ball movement in the second quarter the reason why you guys extended this lead to 8 points?
You know, the guys started to see open passing lanes. They started to give us some alleys where we could throw the ball, and our guys made the play.
Right. On the rebounding end, too, they had you guys at 9-5 in the first quarter. How are you guys able to get things under control a little bit?
It feels like 900-5. It's what it's feeling like right now. We just have to commit to rebounding on the defensive end. They're crashing hard, and they're big bodies. We got to make sure we get them up and then grab the rebound and let them go.
All right, good luck, Bill, in the second half.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Case.
Thank you, sports doctor. 8-point lead here at halftime as Waterford over Ledyard. The Waterford cheerleaders have center stage at Mohegan Sun. So I grew up, well, this kid grew up, I grew up watching this kid grow up. Jordan Elsie of Waterford has matured into a consummate team player. As his role expands, so does the success of the Waterford team.
Jordan's been a kid who started as, and like I feel bad saying this, kind of started as someone who wasn't even on my radar when he came in as a freshman. I didn't really I don't want to say take him seriously, but he was just kind of a freshman, just didn't really highlight anything. But over the past couple of seasons, his sophomore year, he started to become more of an offensive player, especially in the open court.
Started working harder, realized if I really wanted to compete, especially on varsity, then that's what I had to do, like hitting the gym and staying after for extra time, and I just had to put in more work.
And then his junior, last year, when we kind of lost some of the seniors from the year before, like the Ryan O'Connells, he definitely stepped into a void and picked up a lot of the offensive capabilities, especially the slashing, the open floor, and then it started to pick up on the defensive end as well.
Nice reach by Elsie.
He started to become one of our top defenders and really a two-way player.
There's Elsie with the interception.
And he has just kept elevating his game, and elevating his game over the past few years.
The New London game last year.
Elsie will shoot the three. Got it.
Was that his coming out party?
Yeah, I got definitely a coming out party. We knew he was a big piece of the puzzle even before that moment. But it was one of those times where he just looked for those opportunities. But Jordan will tell you first, he is a team guy.
My first game, I'm trying to get my teammates shots and get them open because when everyone's scoring, it's fun for everyone. But, yeah, when we're all doing what we have to do and competing, yeah, there's nothing better than that.
He does not care if he scores. I've been begging him to try to score more. I'm in his ear. You look at this read. How could you play this differently? But he's a team guy. He wants to be in the offense. He wants to, pass the ball. He gets rebounds and looks to exit the ball. I say, you're a senior. You're a captain now. It's okay for you to start to Like, how is it you're going to start to impact the team? Because the younger guys look to you for leadership. They look to you to start doing some of these things. So it's an element of his game where I'm starting to really hope to blossom this year even more.
The son of Steve and the nephew of Lee, Elsie, Jordan gets his basketball skills from his mother, Cheryl, playing on the playground of Nathan Hale's school. As the Ledyard High School cheerleaders trying to encourage their guys down 8 here at halftime, you know, it's not often we hear someone say that they weren't the best kid and that they needed a change of scenery. But it's a remarkable story, and it is Darrell Cagle.
I've known Darrell for a while, actually. I played in leagues with his father, and I always seen Darrell as he grew up, and I actually can see that he kind of just wanted to be his own person. I feel like a lot of his family went to Norwich. I think that he wanted to write his own story, his own path, or where he wanted to be. The fact that I told people I was coming to Ledyard, knowing my name is Cagle, was a big everyone was just like in shock and awe. But I really just did that to just get out that environment in Norwich, so better myself, like the community. And when I was younger, I really wasn't that good, so. But as I got older, I got better. People are like, oh yeah, now you're really a Cagle now. I can see it now. Really, it was about basketball, but the real reason I came here, because growing up, I was a bad kid. I didn't really take school that serious. But I had to get in that environment because I wanted a future for myself. And Ledyard was that school for me.
When did you realize you were a bad kid? I never heard anybody admit that before.
Just again, emails every day from teachers repeatedly every day. That I was just disrupted the class. I was just that class clown. I just couldn't focus and stay on top of things. So, and then that just really shocked me, knowing that I could just be I could have went to an alternate school. So I was like, nah, I gotta be on my best behavior. Gotta act right. Because the Cagle family also, we're pretty well. So I don't want to make us look bad.
Good hands by Cagle.
He was a huge part of me coming to Ledyard.
Darrell Cagle with a big hoop.
Me and him spoke on my interview. We spoke before my interview. I seen him out at a park one day. We just spoke. And just the passion he has on winning. It's not much say, oh, I want to be the best player. I want to be all-state. I just want to win. And he continues to say that to me throughout the whole summer.
Cagle with the steal to Jones.
I just want to get a chance to play and win games and hopefully win a title. He really wants to win a title. So if you're that hungry, I'm the same way, so it works perfectly.
Cagle will not be denied.
Playing with Coach DJ, I know him personally growing up because he was always in the area, and he's a good guy. He's young, so he knows how to play. He played point guard in college, so he knows the in-game scenarios. He knows how to put people in the right spots to make the right moves. He doesn't know how good he can be. The kids, he has a jump shot on him, which not a lot of kids in high school have. He's learned the game day by day, and he's willing to learn, which is a good thing. And then the fact that he's talented. That just adds on to the cake.
Coach DJ Exum says that Darrell Cagle doesn't realize how good he can be. What does he need to be in the second half in order for Ledyard to overcome this 8-point deficit from Waterford?
He's got to be more assertive on the offensive end, and he's got to put himself in a position where he's effective. We'll start on the block. Driving the basketball right down the middle, and he's a tough guy to cover because when he's come down ahead of steam, he's a big body. The spot-up three-pointer is okay, but to me, he's more dangerous on the block, and he's more dangerous on the move in the paint.
Maybe a little bit of the understated aspect of Waterford is their defense.
Yeah.
Holding Ledyard to 20 points, and we talk a lot about Ledyard's perhaps lack of continuity on offense. A lot of that is the looks and the defensive
and the
length.
Yeah,
Waterford
the length
brings.
of the Waterford's defense is, and again, they take away the passing lanes. They make you feel a little uncomfortable on the offensive end. And when you don't have a kid that can spot up and knock down a three-point shot like Waterford does, then it makes it a little tougher sledding for a team like Ledyard.
You mentioned Waterford shooters, and for all those years of Mikey Bassetto and J.J. Brennan and, the staple of Waterford, I think it was really the length in those two state championships, their ability to go out and with O'Connell and Spellman and Sutman, really the length of Waterford was what I think of, and they've brought that. If you look at this Waterford team, it's length. They have a lot of 6'3", 6'4" guys, long arms.
I think the one word you use on a defensive end would be disruptive. Disruptive. Getting into passing lanes, making things tough for teams by the rim, altering shots when they're not even going up just by your size and by your length. It's a good point, and again, that continues for Waterford. So, hey, listen, it was quick start for Ledyard. Waterford got their feet underneath them. The ball started to move, and shots become easy Three-pointers become easy when you catch and shoot in rhythm. Layups become easy when you've got a three-point line, with a guy threatening a three-point shot, and you got a big kid, and Morrell with bunnies at the rim, and he's got 4 points the easy way.
So let's take a look a little bit, Sports Doctor, at some of the highlights from the first half.
Yeah.
Early on, we saw right up off the rip, Waterford get out in front of it.
Yeah, a little run out there by Goldschneider. Deep three, get you going a little bit there too. And then the send in by Oak at the rim. Again, the run out. Nice move there by Oak again. Yeah, very active. 9 points, 4 rebounds for Oak in the first half. And that's where I like Cagle. I like Cagle moving in the paint. 3-point shot.
If O'Connell does that, and that makes him such a dangerous player, right? The inside-outside.
There's the ball moving. The quick pass. The not thinking, the shooting. Little zip pass there. And how do you defend that? Little big guy making himself available. Again, Elsie with the look at the rim. Extra pass, 3-point shot, McHugh. The extra pass beats the defense.
Yeah, 3 different three-point shooters there. And there's Cagle in the lane, which, like you said, he is so effective once he gets in the paint.
Yeah, he's a tough cover. And McHugh hit some big shots for Waterford in that first half, Casey. And again, I don't want to harp on it, but that extra pass gets that defense on their heels. When the ball moves, looks and opportunities will open up, whether they're for the big guy at the rim or for one of your shooters on the three-point line.
Yeah, I think the message for Ledyard was pretty clear, right? Get the ball inside, and he's going to have to figure out, Coach Exum's going to have to figure out, who are my shooters?
Yep.
Because he needs to have a shooter on the floor at all times, and then he needs Cagle and Outlaw to live in the paint.
Yep. Oak with 9, McHugh with 6, Goldschneider with 5 to lead the way for the Lancers. Cagle with 7, Outlaw with 4, and Keefe 6 rebounds for the Colonels. They're leaders in the first half.
And on the other side, I think for Waterford, keep doing what you're doing. What'll be interesting is the other message for Ledyard. We talked, that was on the offensive side, right? Live on the block and get your shooter in. We started to see Ledyard turn up the defensive pressure at the end of the first half.
Helps them.
Yeah. And
helps them.
You got to get some transition baskets. And I think you got to pressure the ball handlers of Waterford. Now, Waterford's at its best when they're zipping the ball around the perimeter. But when they're getting
harass them a
defensive
little
pressure,
bit. Yeah, harass them. Yep.
So let's see them turn up the defensive pressure, Ledyard, and they will have the first possession of the second half. Outlaw will inbound right in front of us.
When you think about that, Exum coming over from New London and stuff like that, isn't that part of the MO? Make things a little bit ugly. Let's get on the floor. Let's get some easy scoring opportunities off of turnovers.
He told me that their identity would be determined. There's a quick steal. O'Connell going the other way on Outlaw and finishes with a left hand at the rim. Worst possible start for Ledyard.
Yeah.
Quick turnover. Coach Exum said, I promise you we will play aggressive defense and we will run. Cagle pulls up and knocks it down.
Good luck.
He said, I don't know if we'll be tough. I don't know if we'll be skilled. I don't know what we have. But he's like, but we're going to run and we're going to play tough defense. So far, they haven't really. The first one lets you do the second one. Play tough defense and you can get out and run. Hard to get out and run.
Yeah, that's right.
If you're not playing good defense. Peabody, foul line jumper, buries it. Of course, if you are just joining us, the Game 2 nightcap, 8 p.m. The number 1 team in the state, Bristol Central, against number 3, East Catholic. So join us for that at 8 o'clock tonight. And Peabody goes hard to the basket. He'll draw the foul on Keefe. He'll go to the line and he'll shoot 2.
Two-man basketball that time between Elsie and Peabody. A little give and go. Get number 3 to the rim, shoot 2.
We talked about the length of Waterford. So look who's on the floor right now. You got Peabody, who's 6'3", right? You got Elsie, who's 6'2", O'Connell, who's 6'4", Morrell, who's 6'8". The shortest guy on the floor is Goldschneider, who's 6 feet.
Yeah.
Everybody, Ledyard's
Big
bringing
team.
in. Everyone Ledyard brings in, whether it's Luther or Green or Stahlbush. They're all
5'8",
5'9",
yeah.
So they've got. I mean, Ledyard's got their big bodies, but everybody on Waterford. And then who do they come off the bench with?
McHugh at 6'4".
Right. I mean, so a lot of
size
length there for Waterford.
Sneaky size. You got 5 guys on the floor over 6 foot on a high school team. You're not doing too bad.
No, when McHugh replaces Goldschneider, they're 6'3",
6'4".
and 6'3" and higher.
Yeah.
12-point lead, biggest lead for Waterford.
Straight man-to-man defense here, too, for the Lancers. And a timeout.
And that's a frustrated timeout right there. DJ Exum's face says it all. He is frustrated with his group because they does not like, there's no ball movement going on right there. They seem a little bit out of sorts. But, again, game 3 on an early season for a team that has, I mean, look at that team. Who was in the starting lineup for Ledyard last year?
Just Cagle, right? Was Caden Whipple the starter last year?
No.
No. That's right.
So you have, Eddie's new, Outlaw's new, right? Keith is, these guys are all trying to figure things out. Whereas on Waterford, Elsie was a starter last year. Goldschneider was a starter last year. So you're just trying to right now. Ledyard's just trying to get things figured, and I do still believe Ledyard's going to be much better in a couple weeks. Right now, I think Coach Exum just wants them to move the basketball. Waterford back in that man, playing very disruptive. Eddie drives, hangs, and he's going to get a foul on the floor. I like Jonah Eddie's aggressiveness. Doesn't play like a sophomore. He really goes after it.
Football kid, tough kid. Third person on Goldschneider.
And don't be surprised if you see a sub coming into the ball game, and you are. We're going to see a quick sub. They're going to go to Piotrowski, who's only 6 feet tall.
Yep.
So a 6-footer for a 6-footer.
Yeah, it was either him or 6'4" McHugh.
Oh, great look. Cagle missed it underneath. Good weak side help. Elsie, we're going to get a walk. He took that step before he could get the ball to the floor.
Oh, Euro step that time.
We got to put
there's a little.
Put it to the floor once.
Shuffle.
Put it to the floor once, and you can take as many steps as you want.
That's it.
Nice idea for the high screen, but there's nothing there. There's no ball movement.
No, ball doesn't move. Outlaw's not flashing. He's not setting a high screen. Make yourself available, Ryan. Go get it.
Everything's at the perimeter.
Yeah, go get it.
Blocked from Morrell. Out of the pack comes O'Connell. They have numbers. Behind the back he goes. Peabody, no good. Gets the rebound, though. Behind the back again, and O'Connell finishes it at the rim. Luther, nice double team. Waterford, again, I think you're right. The word disruptive.
Disruptive,
that's a good word for them.
You gotta move the basketball. You gotta pass it. You gotta get them on their heels right now. The defense is dictating the pace for the Lancers.
Their loss was to St. Bernard's, and it was a close one that should have gone. Waterford probably thinking they should have won that game. Let's not count them out for the teams to look at here in the ECC. O'Connell up ahead. It goes to Elsie. Hard to the basket, and he misses the layup, but there's O'Connell with the rebound. Elsie zips, and Morrell turns it over.
They're too fancy here by the Lancers. Those tricky Lancers, as you would say.
There's a three for Eddie, back rim, no good, and Elsie rips down the rebound.
Just 2 points in the quarter thus far for Ledyard.
We get a blocking foul on Eddie.
(8-2) scoring here in the third quarter.
We're going to get our first look at Albert Frank. He's into the ball game along with Green and Stallbush. So mass exodus here for Ledyard. I think Ledyard's going to go small and see if they can pressure.
Waterford is out-rebounded Ledyard 6-0 in the quarter, too.
There's Frank doing a great job. He's right on Elsie. Outlaw, nice job defending as well. So turning it up a little bit. Stallbush, hard defender. Plays, again, football player. They got Peabody trapped. He finds Morrell, and the kid can finish around the rim.
He's been active. He knows what to do with around the rim. Just catch and shoot. Catch it high, shoot it high, young man.
Biggest lead, 16. Green into Outlaw, and trying to go 1-on-3. We're going to get a foul, but that's a bailout foul. Yeah, absolutely. So Cagle's going to come back in for Keefe. Ledyard's going small. They've got what amounts to 4 guards and Outlaw into the game. We're going to see what they do with that.
Trying to create some offense off of some turnovers on the defensive end.
Stallbush hangs and hits the
there you go.
Bank shot is good.
Now let's see if they turn into pressure on this end.
I think you're going to see hard man-to-man with a lot of pressure on the ball. Frank up in Elsie's grill.
That's backcourt. It was not tipped.
He tipped. He said he tipped it, but it was on Elsie. So there's that defense that we're saying. I think this is going to be what you're going to see here from Ledyard now. Trying to get to the basket. Pressure on defense. Outlaw bangs hard in the air, draws the foul. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Got the foul. Are they going to get it on Morrell or are they getting it on Elsie? They're going to get it on Morrell. And that'll be 2 shots for Ryan Outlaw.
Lead is 14 now. Let's see if they can get this lineup changed in there, Casey. A different look, going with a small lineup and try and drag this lead back down to 8 points the way it was at the end of the third quarter, or second quarter, and see if they can get things moving.
And you can't miss those, dude. That's a lot to ask, but you got to knock those down. And Waterford wants a timeout. I think Coach Bassett wants to make some adjustments to this lineup of Ledyard that he just saw. Perfect time for it, because they're going to come off of. If he makes this, I think he's expecting pressure. A 14-point lead as we head to the end of quarter number 3, and again, 8 o'clock, the big one. People are already excited for it. They're dancing.
The big man's over there in the corner, too. You can see him off to the right-hand side. Not even clinging.
Yeah, he does stand out, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
Did you notice in the great feature, Peter Wappy, like it opens and it looks like 4 kindergartners and a high school kid?
Yeah.
He just towers above everybody.
Big kid. Ledyard faithful here tonight. Colonel Crew.
I would also like to do a sociological study on the effect of a jumbotron on people. People see themselves on a jumbotron. Look, it's a mirror.
All right.
It's like I love jumbotrons really bring out the joy in the child in everyone. I think Peter Wappy will help me with my study of the effects of jumbotrons on the general public. Outlaw, one more. And he knocks that one down, and Ledyard, just a little man pressure. Now they're down into a 1-2-2. Yep, pressure. 3 for Peabody. No good. Weak side rebound. Stallbush. And Elsie with great hands coming the other way.
Tough to turn it over after a turnover.
On a block by Outlaw on O'Connell. Elsie floater in the lane, and he gets the friendly bounce.
DJ Exum frustrated because they had a turnover and they're coming back down and trying to cut the lead to possibly single digits.
Oh, great job by Frank. Spins, hangs, finishes.
Well, I think Coach Exum has got some kids on the floor that actually want to play right now too. Want to keep things moving a little bit, a little quicker.
Yeah, they need to have a little more energy and play with a little more tenacity, and I think this group does. Long straightaway 3 from Peabody, short, and Cagle fighting with Morrell, and it'll be Ledyard basketball. You're going to see McHugh checking in for Waterford. But I like this Ledyard lineup. So here's what we're discovering. The book on how to beat Waterford is going to be to pressure the guards.
Yeah.
And why was St. Bernard's effective against them? In part because they have the perfect lineup to match Waterford.
Right.
It's all about the matchups. Outlaw Pump fake. Now back to Stallbush. Stallbush drives, hangs, left-hander over McHugh is good.
Taking it in with the big fellas that time, Stallbush. Good move. He's played some good minutes here for Coach Jackson.
Back in this trap. Waterford breaks it nicely. Floater short. Green comes out of the pack. Ledyard has numbers. And
Is that a
Green,
Euro step?
Nope. Green that time forgot they weren't running the
Triple
wing
option.
He took the pitch from Eddie or from Stallbush, right? He took
Came off the edge to the 25, to the 30, to the 35.
You know, it's funny because they could put this Ledyard team could put the quarterback and 3 running backs from the football team and a lineman out there. That's a good move by O'Connell. Hangs, no good. Green comes down with a rebound. Great hands. Peabody, 2-on-1, and Green gets a little sloppy, but the tenacity of the defense. There's first smart thing that we've seen here. Slow it back down. And the lead's only 11.
Yeah. Green wants to go with it, doesn't he?
He does. Well, he only has 1 speed, right?
Yeah, it's 100.
Frank kicks out. Stallbush straightaway 3. No good back iron. Strong rebound from Oak. Elsie's wide open under the basket. They just find him, and he makes the layup. Beautiful look from Petrowski.
Good look that time for Petrowski. Elsie cutting down the lane. The easy 2, the little scoop at the lane.
.25 seconds now, down to 20 seconds. 13-point lead. Ledyard's going to try it for the last shot.
I don't know why. Got to get things moving, need possessions.
Bounce pass out low, jump stop, finishes at the rim. It's a nice basket.
Good move, good pass, good move, good finish.
Up ahead it goes, O'Connell, and he scores at the buzzer. And that's gonna put Waterford on top, 44-31. Come back for fourth quarter action. You're watching Game Day live on theday.com.
At Orthopedic Partners, exceptional care and treatment is our top priority. We provide high quality, state-of-the-art services and treatments for the comfort and satisfaction of our patients. If you have questions or would like to schedule an appointment, contact us today at 860-889-7345 or at orthopartners.com. All that's good begins with a smile, and your smile is our top priority. Our entire team is dedicated to providing the personalized, gentle care you deserve. Commitment to our patients includes information that leads to more informed decisions about their oral health needs. We hope you'll find this website both useful and interesting. Contact us today at waterforddentalhealth.com. Hey, are you looking for a premier travel baseball organization? The Hartford-based Connecticut Capitals may be a great fit for you. We are a true baseball academy focusing on travel baseball, academics, performance training, and instruction. Check us out on Instagram at Connecticut Capitals Baseball or visit our website at www.ctcapsbaseball.com for more information.
You see Waterford running out at the end, little fancy move, and Peabody, though he can't finish, comes right back with a second behind the back. And O'Connell was able to get it done, but you know, Waterford now just out hustling and out working, and really Ledyard had a little something going, but they really just haven't had an answer for Waterford's defense and ability to get out and run.
Young Oak, 15 points and 9 rebounds to lead the way for the Lancers. Ryan Outlaw getting taken off the court.
I hope it's not the same injury he had in football. Luther in the game, blocked by Goldschneider. Up ahead it goes, O'Connell. Showtime! And he almost pinned himself, but he was able to get it to go down. Foul on Goldschneider. Cagle will draw the foul, and it'll be Ledyard ball on the outs with a 15-point Waterford lead.
Bill Bassett going to talk to Goldschneider. He picked up his 4th foul. It's a foul 45 feet from the basket, son. Coaching, always teaching, always looking ahead.
He's too good a shooter to be on the bench. That's what part of it. Of course, with him out of the game, Waterford just gets longer. As McHugh knocks it out. Waterford pretty much with a 7-man rotation today.
Yeah.
Luther will inbound. Hate seeing Outlaw get out. I mean, we've just seen him hobbled for so long, and so frustrating. You know, sophomore.
A turf toe injury during the end of the football season. We saw him a little beat up, and
junior, I should say. But yeah, just the turf toe got him, and was never really able to rebound it. Stallbush, 3 no good. Tip gets his own rebound, and McHugh pins him.
Swallowed that up.
Cagle step in, hangs left hand finish.
Cagle's still working out there, the senior.
McHugh lobs up ahead, and Elsey over the top of Frank, and then out of bounds off of Elsey. That looked again, Elsey, the wide receiver in football, went up and caught the touchdown, but off his leg. So Derek Rivera into the ball game for Waterford, the junior. Stallbush, Cagle for a long 3, no good, short, and right into the ball game. Rivera grabs a rebound. Nice look to Elsey. Nice look from Elsey. O'Connell.
Timeout Ledyard on that little layup. 19 points now for O'Connell on the night. And he is heady by the rim. You see the delivery by Elsey, the back end to Oak. You know, and the one thing, too, the big people do from Waterford, they move without the basketball. Make yourself available. Catch, shoot. You know, be in the right spot. And then, you know, obviously, you got to get the basketball. So the recognition from some of the passes. And, you know, again, we talked about this, Casey. This is what this program does. Spread the floor, move the basketball, team basketball. You know, there's not really one player bigger than the sum of parts.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll signal out Elsey for a minute. I think Elsey, he scored 2 points maybe, or 4 points, and has not played, I don't think he would say that he's played very well.
Right.
But how many times have we seen him break their pressure by finding the open man?
Zip pass at the rim. And
you know, he's probably got 8 assists from O'Connell and Morrell at the basket. And that's where they become so difficult because too many, like you said, too many guys know how to, they're the opposite of Ledyard. Everybody makes themselves available.
O'Connell scored the last 6 Waterford points. 19 officially, 10 points in the second half. There's Mike.
And in the crowd, surrounded by the future Mikey Bassettos, there's Mikey Bassetto, Waterford
He's
state
laying low,
champion.
look at him. Odion and stuff like that. Whenever he's wearing the ring.
Mitchell College now, and national leader in assists. You know that?
I did not.
Leading the nation in assists per game. It's not bad.
Oh.
Frank thinks about the 3. And nice move again. Stallbush drives to the basket. He'll draw the foul on the floor.
Stallbush has played well. He's played extremely aggressive for Coach Exum.
And I think you talk about the mystery box. People are going to find themselves getting minutes, because of how hard they're working in a game like this. 3-pointer by Frank, no good. Up ahead, see, look at Waterford trying to run. Elsey. And Coach Exum also said he wasn't thrilled about their conditioning, that they're going to need to keep getting out there in better condition. Waterford looks very well conditioned. Rivera for 3. Good! Derek Rivera knocks down the 3.
Yeah, you talk about a kid like Stallbush right there with the basketball, Casey getting a lot of minutes tonight. Maybe it's his effort tonight. You know, you got a kid like Whipple who's been kind of buried on the bench right now, and you know he seems to be in a bit of the doghouse. And you know you're going to need some of these kids again. This is valuable experience, you know, for Frank, Stallbush, and some of these other kids when you're trying to figure out pieces of the rotation. And who's going to bring it every single night?
18-point lead. Waterford has a chance to go up 20 here on this possession. I love Stahlbusch's
Nah,
effort.
he's tough. He is a pain in the butt. That's travel right there.
And there's Peyton Luther stepping in with the steal. And up left-handed for 2. And that's how you're going to get on the floor right there. Peabody, he can shoot it.
That's a tough shot, isn't it? A little leaner in there from 6 feet.
Yeah, Logan Peabody can shoot the basketball, though. He's got a great touch. Dump down, Cagle, spins on Elsey. Great defense, hangs. Keefe rips down the rebound, and it's a jump ball. Possession arrow stays here. Good effort. Again, right now, you want to be on the floor, it's max effort all the time. So Luther will inbound underneath. Wide open, Stahlbusch. We're going to get a touch foul from Rivera. Ledyard will retain possession.
Bill Bassett's going to call a timeout. Talk things over a little bit.
Yeah,
so both these teams, we'll talk about St. Bernard's real quick, and the common opponent of both these teams. They're 2-0 right on the year. They beat Ledyard and they beat Waterford, and we talk about St. Bernard's every single year too, and we always put them in an upper echelon. Is this kind of the year that they kind of make a run maybe on the state level? Do they have the goods to do that?
So I think it's hard to make that kind of run with the youth that they have. You're going to play 3 freshmen. I think it's hard. We said the one thing they've always missed is the size, right? They don't, even when they had Nate Avery in the lineup,
big guy,
wasn't quite the same. So the answer is yes. I think they can make some noise, but I think it's tough. Those freshmen are going to have to grow up pretty fast. You talked about the common opponent in St. Bernard's. Waterford went to school on what St. Bernard's did, testing Ledyard's conditioning as well.
Mm-hmm.
Run, push, make them defend. Nice bounce pass. Keith kicks out. Luther for 3. That's good basketball. That's the best set they've had in a while.
Yep. So inside out, find a shooter on the perimeter, and Luther's played well. I think Coach Exum is going to find out who wants to play.
That was the first time that Ledyard's offense looked like Waterford's offense. Move the ball. There's a turnover the other way. Cagle. Jump, and he's going to draw the foul on the floor from Petrowski. And, by no means is 15 is not undoable here for Ledyard. But this is the effort that they're, you'd want to see from them the entire game. Cagle will shoot 2. He must be exhausted too, by the way. He's played a lot of physical minutes tonight.
You know how I feel about that. You're 18 years old, you don't get tired. 17 years old, you don't get tired.
It's a fair point, Sports Doctor.
Tired at 50.
50, you're exhausted, permanently exhausted. Nice rebound and put back by Connor Keefe.
Lead down to 13. I think DJ Exum is proud of the way this unit right here is scrapping.
Kick out, 3 for Peabody, short. Nice rebound by Keefe. Good job by Stahlbusch coming to get it. Step back 3, Frank, no good. Another great rebound by Keefe. Little hook over the top of O'Connell is good. Connor Keefe, and the lead is shrinking slowly.
It's all because of effort. It's all because of hustle right now for the Colonels. Second chance scoring opportunities. Gritty playing a defensive end.
Little 9-2 Ledyard run. And that is ended. That's a nice job that time as Petrowski was able to score in the lane. Back to 13. Cagle, too much time here pounding the basketball.
No, gotta go.
High screen from Keith. Cagle pulls up and short on the three, and nice look. I'll be frank, that was a great look to Keith. Little touch foul. Lead is 11, and Ledyard has definitely found something with this unit.
Yeah, I mean, they're scrapping. That is it in a nutshell. I mean, Luther is scrapping. Frank is scrapping.
And
Stallbush is just
my new favorite player.
He is
the way he plays.
Pain in the butt out there for Coach Bill Bassett.
Keeps out of the game, and Eddie's in the game, so there is no size really for Ledyard right now. They're going to be all about the defense. Hounding the basketball. LC drives baseline, hangs, can't finish. Good defense, weak side. On the floor goes Eddie and LC. It'll be a tie-up. Possession arrow stays with Waterford. There's a great step in again by Luther. Off to the races. And a great block from behind by Rivera.
And a hustle play that time. Derek Rivera said, not on my watch.
Great effort as Luther stepped in, and Rivera never quit on the play. Good hustle both directions, both teams. Frank, great look underneath to Eddie. League in single digits, it's 9. This is the effort Ledyard could have used all game.
This is what they needed to play in the first quarter. I mean, yeah, he's got a really small lineup in there with a bunch of kids who are just scrapping. There you go, another turnover.
Luther ahead to Eddie. Drives, reverse, no good, out of the pack. Waterford's got numbers. Goldschneider finishes at the rim. Stallbush can't finish. Up ahead it goes, leaking out. Peabody and a little strong from O'Connell. And it'll be a turnover, and Ledyard will send Green and Keith back into the ballgame.
Double-double tonight for Oak. 10 rebounds. His 10th, the last time down the floor. See a lot of that out of him this year. A lot of nights where he's going to have 10 and 10 and carry the load a little bit up front for Bill Bassett.
Luther kicks out. Keith probably should have avoided going into the lane.
Dribble the basketball down so low. Use your size to an advantage. You let the little guys come in and be involved when you're 6'4" and dribble the ball through the lane.
Question to ask Coach Bassett at the end of this one is how does he think they handled the pressure that Ledyard put on, and is that something he's going to be looking at moving forward? They have that great length and that size. They're so disruptive, but are you a little concerned that perhaps pressure might be the thing you're going to see more of from other teams? And who can apply it? Who can really put that kind of pressure on? Stallbush, no good. Great rebound, Peabody. Up ahead, LC. Bounce pass to Goldschneider, blocked from behind by Green. Waterford will retain the basketball, 48 seconds remaining. LC kicks it out. Waterford now 45 seconds remaining. O'Connell, and we're going to get an offensive foul.
Yeah. Here's Stallbush clapping down there, getting his hands in the mix. He's played well, hasn't he, Case?
Yeah, he's been scrappy. I like the effort. Never quit.
Yeah.
That's going to get him on the floor. You know, that's the kind of thing. I'm a coach.
With Luther, Peyton Luther, too, showed you some flashes here in the second half.
Yeah.
Frank played well, Albert Frank.
Luther hangs at the basket. He'll draw the foul. He'll go shoot two.
That's a good, strong move by the little guy that time. Fearless coming down the lane.
Yep, Waterford now will move. You know, they're 32 seconds away. We talked about 4-0. They'll move to 5-0, and that makes them the winningest Connecticut high school here at the Mohegan Sun. More wins than anyone else.
5-0.
So they will have won 3 state championships here, an ECC championship here,
and one this game.
In the Day Holiday Classic here. So in descending order of importance, but the Day Classic win ties into the state championship wins, and here's how.
Yes.
You ready for this?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. This group of Waterford is the least experienced group to play at the Sun.
Yes.
Since the first group that played at the Sun.
Sure.
Every Waterford team that played after that first group had more experience playing at the Sun.
Gotcha.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
That made sense?
It does.
Sure. I'm not even sure if I made sense.
You went to Wesleyan. You're fine.
Speaking of Wesleyan, a little shout out to Will Sowen, who committed to Middlebury, the NESCAC school. We like those NESCAC schools. So Peter Wappy says it's a stretch.
Right.
You're right, because you know, Wesleyan being such a superior school, I was just trying to give Sowen some love going to Middlebury. It's a NESCAC tie-in.
Cagle with 11 for Waterford. Keefe, 8 points, 10 rebounds. Bucket away from a double-double. Peabody with 10. Oak with 19 and 11 to lead the way for the Lancers.
Second one's good. 32 seconds remaining here in the ballgame. Green hangs, kicks. Cagle can't finish at the rim, and a strong rebound by O'Connell. Goldschneider out of the pack. Waterford with numbers, and they'll pull it out. And we'll get a unnecessary foul with 9 seconds remaining here. So Waterford will inbound, and Ledyard will, I'm hoping, allow them to run this thing out with 9 seconds remaining in the game. And another foul with 7.9, so hopefully they will realize that they're down 10.
Ledyard foul number 5, Leighton Stallbush, his second.
A foul, and Peabody will go to the line.
Colonel's foul number 5, Leighton Stallbush, his third. Logan Peabody to the line, shooting a 1-1.
Stallbush down, 3 seconds long, 3, no good, and that will do it. 59-47. The Waterford Lancers are the victors, fittingly, in the first ever Day Holiday Classic here at Mohegan Sun. They will move on to 2-1. The sports doctor will be efforting Coach Bill Bassett, who's given a little hug to the Ledyard coaching staff and players. 12-point victory. Game 2, of course, 8 o'clock tonight, tip-off for Game 2. And Bill Bassett is heading over to talk with our own sports doctor, as well as our entire Lancer group and the Waterford Dental Health player of the game. Sports doctor.
All right, Coach Bassett, Big win here tonight at the Mohegan Sun. How is this as an early season test for your squad?
Hey, I feel any team as good as Ledyard comes in and pushes you around, you know, they're going to toughen you up. They have a good combination of size, speed. Like, they're very strong underneath Cagle and Ello, but then they bring in these guards who are super fast, so you have to prepare for both.
Now, this is a new team for you, Bill. So, at what point during the season, is it game 3, game 4, game 5, where you start to figure out the right combinations on the floor?
You know, every time we have a game, you have guys come in and just do different things, right? Evan McHugh today came into 2 huge threes. Right. Derek Rivera came in the end of the game, played great defense. I'm getting contributions from guys every night. You never know whose number's going to be called.
Right, they went a little small on you, and they bothered you. You had a 20-point lead. They went small. They put pressure on you guys. How do you address that moving forward in the season?
We just have to make sure we have good ball handling and make good decisions on the floor.
All right. Well, our Waterford Dental Health player of the game tonight is senior Sean O'Connell. Big game tonight. Double-double out there. First of all, talk about the play against the tough Ledyard team for you personally.
You know, we just got to break through their defense because they got a lot of size, so we just got to move the ball around and get the ball to everybody.
Right, and it's a team game out there. You didn't do it yourself. Your teammates setting you up, blocking shots. How good can this team be moving forward during the season?
We capitalize on our defense, I think we'll be very dangerous.
Yeah, defense wins championships, but not only you, but you and your brother have both now dunked on this floor. Whose dunk do you think was better, yours or right? Sean's, right, just for sure. Waterford Dental Health, play the game, Sean Collins. Great job tonight. But Bill, this is a big win. You guys are undefeated on this floor. I don't know if you know this or not, but the most wins from a high school basketball team in the state of Connecticut on Mohegan Sun.
I had no idea. I'm just, you know what? Every time we're here, it's a special opportunity. I told the guys, embrace the moment and get after it, but someone's got to win this game tonight. I'm glad we came out on top.
All right, great team win as always. Waterford Lancers tonight, Casey, here at the Mohegan Sun.
Thank you, Sports Doctor. A lot of things to be happy about for Waterford. You saw the highlights of Sean O'Connell doing a little bit of everything. Dunking at the basket, launching threes, making himself available at the hoop. And O'Connell leads the Lancers tonight. He is our Waterford Dental Health player of the game. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from all the action tonight. Early going, you saw O'Connell gets out, runs the floor. Great defense. We saw him jump the lane a few times. Out low, gets blocked by Morrell. That shows that strong interior defense that Waterford had. O'Connell so active at the rim. And I thought he was going to bring the house down. Almost pinned himself, but he got it to go. Second dunk of the game for O'Connell. And after that, it was Cagle, scoring at the basket. Ledyard trying to get something going, but Waterford too much. LC finds O'Connell, and at the end, Lancers just too much court vision and the ability to break pressure. But Ledyard wouldn't give up. Peyton Luther with a finish at the rim, and that small lineup really bothered Ledyard, but Rivera showing the tenacity of Waterford as they stayed in it. Even Connor Keefe couldn't quite get Ledyard to come back. Rivera knocks down a triple, and the Lancers, a happy group as they bring home the first victory here in the Day Holiday Classic. So Game 2 set for an 8 o'clock tip-off. However, 7:46 is when you want to come back. So about 20 minutes from now, you're going to want to come back here for the pregame. East Catholic and Bristol Central, of course, number 1 and number 3 in the state. Sports Doctor, great effort by Waterford tonight.
Yep, good game.
Coach Bassett seemed very clear that he likes this group, and they do a lot of good things. Back to the drawing board a little bit for Coach Exum to find out which group of guys he needs to have
who wants to hustle and who wants to play for Coach Exum. Good test for Waterford. A little bit of a growing stick for Ledyard. Listen, long season in the ECC.
Waterford, 59-47. Come on back at 7:46 for the pregame of Game 2, East Catholic and Bristol Central. You've been watching Game Day live on theday.com.